PodcastHero.com.
Welcome to The Daily Quote, a podcast designed to kickstart your day in a positive way. I'm your host, Andrew McGivern, for September 30th. Today is International Podcast Day, and I have to say, there's something wonderfully meta about celebrating this holiday on a podcast. International Podcast Day was created in 2014 by Steve Lee, who was inspired after hearing about National Senior Citizens Day on the radio. And he wondered why wasn't there a day celebrating podcasts? What started as National Podcast Day in the United States quickly went global, becoming International Podcast Day in 2015. Since then, September 30th has become a worldwide celebration featuring hundreds of podcasters from nearly 100 countries, with live streams, special episodes, and events honoring this transformative medium. Podcasts have revolutionized how we consume audio content. Unlike traditional radio, podcasts are on demand, allowing us to learn, laugh, and connect with voices from around the world, whenever and wherever we choose. From true crime to comedy, from science to storytelling, podcasts have democratized broadcasting and given voice to perspectives that might never have found their way onto traditional airwaves. Which brings me to today's quote from Brené Brown, who once said, "Stories are just data with a soul." Brown's observation captures exactly what makes podcasts so powerful and why International Podcast Day is worth celebrating. In our data-saturated world, we're drowning in information but often starving for connection. Podcasts bridge that gap by wrapping information in story, context, and authentic human voice. Now, I know there are AI podcast voices now, but who wants to listen to that? I suppose there are some edge cases, like if someone loses the ability to speak and a cloned voice can allow them to keep going. But think about why you listen to podcasts. It's rarely just for the facts. You could read those faster in an article. What draws us to podcasts is the soul that comes through, the passion in someone's voice when they're talking about their expertise, the vulnerability when they share a personal story, the laughter that makes information feel like conversation with a friend. Podcasts succeed where other media sometimes fail because they create intimate connections. When you regularly listen to a podcast, you feel like you know the host. Their voice becomes familiar, trusted, part of your routine. They're not just delivering data. They're sharing their humanity, their perspective, their soul. We lost one of podcasting's greats a couple weeks ago. Hall of Fame podcaster Todd Cochran, founder of Raw Voice Blueberry, a podcast hosting company, host of Geek News Central, and co-host of The New Media Show. I didn't know Todd personally. I interacted with him on social media and email maybe a few times over the years. He didn't know me, but I must have listened to his voice for hundreds of hours. I did feel like I knew Todd, and I relied on his opinion and appreciated what he was doing for the industry. Rest in peace, Todd. Brown understood that information without emotion, facts without context, data without story, these things don't move us or change us. But when you add soul, something an AI voice can't have, when you connect information to human experience, that's when real understanding and transformation happen. I discovered podcasting in 2008 and immediately started one, then another, and another. And once I discovered podcasting, I started listening to podcasts. And suddenly that commute wasn't wasted time anymore. It became education time, entertainment, connection to ideas and people who I'd never encounter otherwise. So today, think about Brown's wisdom and the power of stories to give soul to information. Whether you're a podcast listener, creator, or both, consider how you can honor the spirit of International Podcast Day. Maybe it's finally starting that podcast you've been thinking about creating. Maybe it's supporting your favorite podcast by leaving a review or sharing it with somebody. Reviews and comments really do matter. Not for any magic algorithm thing, but it fills up the emotional gas tank of the podcaster. It reminds them why they are doing what they do. If you're not a podcaster, maybe use this day as a reminder to approach your own communications, whether it's a work presentation or a conversation with a friend, with more story, more authenticity, more soul. Podcasting revolution happened because people realized that everyone has a story worth telling, and everyone deserves access to stories worth hearing. That's something worth celebrating. That's going to do it for today. I'm Andrew McGivern, signing off for now. But I'll be back tomorrow. Same pod time, same pod station, with another daily quote.